All right, there we go. Hello everyone, how's it going? Team here, and this is BxJS livestream. Today we're going to be doing Cypress end-to-end testing, and I thought I'll just pick Next.js as the quick tag for building the website itself. We're going to test. Hey, Smaller Brute, welcome to the stream. Yes, I do like it quite a bit indeed. So why I decided to stream about Cypress is, well, as you know, I've started a new role recently, and we're building a new product that is basically partly a web app, and we needed to test it, so we needed some end-to-end testing. And I gave Cypress a try, and that thing is pretty damn amazing. So yeah, if you never heard about Cypress, as I already said, it's an end-to-end testing framework that is based on Electron and basically allows running any browser you want with any tests. So we are just gonna dive into that. We're gonna build a very basic Next.js website that does some normal stuff like authentication, maybe loading something, rendering something, clicking on buttons. And then we're gonna test it using Cypress. So the caveat here is, as you might know, I usually do all my development within VSL. In this case, unfortunately, we're going to have to do that in Windows side of it because I was not able to run Cypress through my VSL for whatever reason. So if I try to run it with the X11 running on my Windows side, it just crashes with some GPU warnings, and so far I haven't been able to do that. I've seen people running it, but I have no idea why my setup bugs out. Maybe it has to do something with my gaming GPU or whatever, but you know what? We'll just do the Windows side because it works perfectly fine there. So I already created the folder here. I'm gonna do npm init-y to start off with the project, change the license to MIT real quick, and let me have a look. So we now, by the way, have a new setup. I'm now using Restream and this unified chat you can see on the right side that should now show the chat for both Twitch and YouTuber. And yeah, hey Mehmatrix, welcome to the stream. Everything is indeed good. I did not back up any hand sanitizers. I'm perfectly fine with using the old-fashioned soap. I think that's totally fine. Usually use Storybook as well for UI development in Cypress. Well, Storybook is handy when you have to develop and maintain the libraries, right? We don't really have that in our case, so it's like just, app that we have to test essentially. Hey Mihail, welcome. Because Windows. Well, I mean, what I read, two things. Number one is that you can run it with VSL 1, and it's just probably something is wrong with my setup. I probably screwed up something. I was trying to run some Python GPU based stuff, so maybe I just installed unnecessary packages that screw things up. But we're gonna see. As far as I read, it actually works perfectly fine with VSL 2, so I cannot wait for VSL 2 to basically ship in Windows. There's gonna be a conference today, I think, right, with the VSL Con. So hopefully they announce the date there. Hey Alvan, welcome to the stream. Berlin is crazy at the moment. We didn't really have any, the changes are not too drastic in Leipzig, at least. There's no craze or anything, and mostly everything is kind of quiet, but whatever. You know what? Let's not talk about all that stuff. Let's just do something fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with Next.js. We're gonna build a very basic app. Let's just go to the docs and do the very basic setup. And right, of course, I cannot use that here. So we're gonna build a very basic app that is gonna, I don't know, let's start with login screen, and then maybe some basic views that will have something. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out in a moment. Pages indexed, no, sorry, I needed a new file, right? Pages index.js, there we go, home page. So in theory, come on. Oh, right, I forgot to disable my my antivirus, so it's probably going to take some time. Hey Chris, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you as well. Okay, so how do you guys, if you're watching this live, how's the quality of the streams on Twitch and on YouTube? Because the last time I did the whole restream thing, people complained about the quality on Twitch. I'm trying the different service now, which seems to be a lot better. Perfect. Okay, cool. Great. Hey, Carlos, welcome to the stream. On Twitch is okay. Okay, so last time the Twitch was the only one that suffered, actually, which is a bit annoying. But there we go. Okay, so if we do npm start now, we should, no, not start, npm run dev, right, is what we want to do. should able to get our, yes, please allow my node.js. That would be very nice. Come on. We should be able to get our thing on localhost 3000. There we go. There's our welcome.js. Better. Okay, cool. Hey, Tolmid, welcome to the stream. Hey, White Tennis, welcome to the stream. Cool. Okay, so the quality is great, which is cool. The unified chat is also very nice. So I guess we're gonna stick with that setup. It seems like it's working quite well. All right, so we got our thing running, right? So the app is running. Now let us projects BxJS. What was the name of it? There we go. So now let us, I guess, do the Cypress. So you basically want two commands. You want test, right, which will run the Cypress run, and you want, I guess let's call it test local, which will open the Cypress. So you have an interactive mode where you can actually dynamically do things. Okay, first of all, let me just stop that. Yes, terminate batch jobs. Here's a caveat. I will have to do the git from the VSL side because I don't have git installed in PowerShell, but you know, that's just a minor caveat here. Okay, let me just ignore node modules, git ignore. All right, that looks, oh yeah, I need to also echo, I need to ignore the .next, right? Because that's a compilation thing. There we go. Git add, git commit, basic next.js setup. All right. So next thing we want to do is npm install save dev Cypress, right? I think it's just Cypress. Do I remember that correctly? Is that just install it? Yes, it is just Cypress. Okay, cool. So we're installing the Cypress. It does take quite a few minutes to install it because it basically pulls the whole like Electron binary along with a bunch of browsers if you need them, which, I mean, you know, on CI is decently fast. It can be a bit slow-ish if your network is not that good, but okay. Anyway, coming back to our app. So what we want to do, let's, you know what? So let's do, first of all, let's do the basic API. So there's the API routes. Let's do the pages API is what we want to do. Okay. So create an API folder here, and we're going to say, let's say login, right? Let's do a basic authorization thing. And this is going to be REST status, content. Yeah, okay. So we want something a bit more complex. Is there an example with API middlewares, dynamic API routes? Is there like response helpers? Do we have request helpers? So I can just say, instead of doing that, I can just say REST JSON, right? That should be good. Status, okay, yeah, please stat status 200 JSON is what I want to do. Now I'm guessing there's going to be something in request, right? I haven't used them in ages, so I don't know if they, whoa, wait a second. Oh, right, Windows decided to move VS Code icon on the other monitor for some reason. Right, okay, anyway, npm run dev. So theoretically, if we now query API, so whoops, this should still work, right? And if we now go API login, we should be able to see our request, which, okay, obviously because I did get, we won't get anybody here. So what do we want to do? We want to send a post request, which means we want to do it from the command line. Please, curl. Right, hell if I remember how to do the curl post request. Okay, curl minus data, there we go. I guess, okay, we don't care about the form. Curl minus x posts. I guess minus data should be enough, right? So we can just do that. Okay, minus data, and then I probably should have started again. Localhost, so HTTP, nope. Localhost 3, no, come on now. 3000 API login. So if we send the request here, we should see, where is my body? Do you have my body or not? Client, URL, post, raw headers. Did you parse it or not? Okay, you know what? Let's have a look at the docs. Maybe I'm just overthinking that. Introduction. So what does it actually use? REST micro middleware. So by default, it's gonna probably use something like micro, right? Considering it's the zeitgeist. Basic API routes with micro. So basic, blah blah blah, site now, blah blah blah, yes, whatever. Okay, so let's see, pages, people. Right, so this is to get the person, PID. Okay, so there's the query thing. And we get the same, but for the body. I'm imagining there is some way to extract that, but maybe I'm just not seeing it. Aborted, status client, method, errors. Okay, there's like a ton of other things in here. Readable. Okay, so it gives you a readable state, which is not something we actually care about. Does it give us the body? I mean, it should give us the body, right? So that should be like a reasonable thing to expect from a post request. Boarded, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Come on, server. Where's the body? Oh, there we go. There it is. Okay, I should have looked at the very end at first. Damn it. All right, so we could just do that basically, right? And terminate, restart, and then send the data again. So we theoretically should see. Come on now. There we go. So we got param value, which is exactly what we want. There is an NFC plugin for VS Code REST client. What is NFC plugin? Sorry, where is it? I'm a REST. I mean, you know, I'm fine with running curl. It's like, yes, you probably can get like a REST client or something, but I will spend longer figuring out how to configure the damn thing than using curl. Okay, anyway, we're gonna get login and passwords from body, and then essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna say got valid credentials. So I'm gonna fake authentication here. Login is gonna be YAMLite, and then password is gonna be 103, right? So we're gonna be very creative here. I guess I could have used this destruction over here. Just do that. And if login, right, you know what? We're even gonna just have one valid credentials because I am that lazy. Login equals login and valid credentials password equals sorry, login body. No. Password is what I want to do. Password. Then we're gonna send so we're gonna say just 200 and send valid credentials. So we're gonna send the user back, right? And if it's not valid, then we are gonna say 401 is the error. Sorry, the 401 is unauthorized, right? And error message is gonna be not authorized. Let's be very concise here. Okay, so we got that part. Next.js actually rebuilds now, I think, right? Yeah, there we go. Cool. Okay, so we got that. Now let's make a login page, I guess. Login.js, and just copy that. Div page. Okay, so we are going to have a page that will have a very basic login form. Input type text, placeholder, login, and then let's, you know what, let's just give it, I guess default value is a better default value. It's gonna be, let's just give it the correct values, right? That's not what I want. Okay, so we got that. The term, input, okay, then we got the passwords. Password. Default value and the 3. Okay, and then we got button, and button is just gonna be login. And now we need to wire all this up, so I'm gonna use okay, I actually need, yeah, one of the things that I'm not a big fan of is the fact that Next.js allows you to omit React in a namespace, which is a bit iffy when you want to import hooks, because you always like, okay, I have to now type that stuff, which, you know, I mean, I guess is just a personal preference. Hey Marina, welcome to the stream. Hey Andres, welcome to the stream. First live. Okay, cool, welcome. All right, anyway, okay, right, I should probably rename this to login page, right? So we got that, let's do this. Okay, so we got, we want what? We want actually just refs, right? So we want login ref, use ref, yes, auto import, no, not from there. Not from there either. Okay, you don't know how to import that correctly. Use ref is what I want. No, that's too much. There we go. So, and we want pass ref. There we go. Okay. Ref is gonna be login ref, and here ref is gonna be pass ref. And here on click, we're just gonna run do login, right? So it's gonna be very stupid, and it's just gonna do the request. Yeah, right. That should be a new function that doesn't take, I mean, it should take the event, right? So, but in this case, we don't really care about that. And then we're going to say, okay, login is login ref current value, and password is passref current, no, value. I guess because I'm installing the packages from the Windows side and then running everything in VSL, it messes up a bit with auto completion, but that's a minor issue right now. Anyway, we want to do fetch to API login. Method is gonna be post. Headers is gonna be content type JSON, right? And I guess this doesn't matter in this case because it seems to parse it as JSON anyway. But anyway. And body is gonna be JSON stringify, so we're gonna stringify login and password. Okay, we did that, and then we need to what? We need to await that actually, so I'm gonna make this a sync. And then I'm gonna say, okay, so this is gonna be login results. We're gonna await fetch. Then our JSON, so we're gonna do that. Okay, and let's for now just console log that login results. All right, let's see if I screwed anything up or if it actually works. Right, we want the login page, right? There's our login page. There is our DevTools. Let me enlarge that for you. So if we click the login, and there is a 500 internal error for some reason. Right, and what exactly is broken? Invalid media type. Oh right, because I'm right. That's not the it's not the valid content type. Here's the question: can I just omit that? Will that work? If I click login, error not authorized. Okay, so it kind of works, but not really. I guess it does want content type. I think it is application JSON, right? Am I remembering that correctly? Let's have a look. So login. Yeah, there we go. Hey, it actually works. Okay, cool. So we are now logging in. Let's change the page a bit. So I'm gonna extract all of that into a new component. This is gonna be called login form, right? And it's just gonna be, okay. No, come on, return. And then I'm gonna return this thing. And we do need to do this here. So I'm just gonna, yeah, basically I'm gonna extract all of that into new login form components. Yes, I should, yeah, why not? Let's just wrap it in div. Basically, I could have just copied the whole damn thing and renamed it. And here, instead of rendering all of that, I'm gonna say login, login form. Did I call it login form? Yes, I did call it login form. Okay, and then we're gonna have additional property here. It's gonna say on, on authorized, right? And we're just gonna call it over here to notify the parents that we are indeed authorized. And in this case, we're gonna say, okay, so here's our use state is what we want. It's probably not imported, so use state. And then it's gonna be, so it's gonna be user and set user. And on authorized, we're just gonna do set user. Probably let's call it new user to evade confusion between variable names. Right, and then we're gonna do this thing. So I'm gonna say if there is no user, we're gonna render the login form, and if there is user, we're gonna render a new div. Come on now, that will have an h1 that says hello, and then whoops, that is not what I wanted to type. User dot what did we have there? Username login. There we go. So very straightforward, right? So if we go here, we hit login, we see hello Yamalite, which is exactly what we want. Cool. Now let's test that, right? So we actually built the thing. So let's stop that. I'm gonna git add. What did I change there? So I have added. Did I install Cypress or what? Git diff. I forgot. Why does the package JSON changed? Sorry, git. Package JSON. Yes, I did install Cypress. Okay, that's fine. Git commit add basic login page with mock logic. Let's call it this way. Right, so sign the commits. There we go. Okay, now that we have that, npm run dev, we can restart the server. And now we can do npm run test local. So this will actually open our, what do you call it? The Cypress instance, right? So this is going to start up the Cypress. It does take some time again. So this is like a pretty large and heavy Express app that does a lot behind the scenes, working with, you know, any browser that you basically want. Well, almost any modern browser, let's call it this way. Come on now, anytime. So on the first run, it will also create a bunch of examples for you that you can use to basically learn how the Cypress works. So it creates this integration test examples, right? And I found it to be very handy to use essentially when you need a reference, because it's, you know, it's a bit long to go ahead and try to find any examples in docs. But when you have like a folder with examples, it's really quick to go, okay, I need like some actions. You just go here and, okay, this is how I do that, right? Anyway, let's see. So we need to create our own test, right? So I'm going to call our file, say login spec.js, right? And let's see. So, okay, I don't need that yet. I don't need, you know what? Let's first of all, let's do something with the wrong thing, right? So let's catch the error and also output the error here. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do, let me think. So I guess we're just gonna I guess try catch is the easiest way of going it. I mean, I could have done the then catch, but that sounds annoying. So we're just gonna do this and do on error e, right? So there's another, gonna have error set error, and then just use state. Again, it's going to be empty by default, and then we're going to this on error, and it's going to be error, and no, I guess new error as well. Let's use the same notation. All right, so basically if there is error, we're going to say div error to string, right? So let's just output the error here and do some very cool styling, color red, because all errors must be red, right? Okay, so we did that. Now we got our login spec. I'm just gonna be lazy and copy this thing because we don't really need all of that, but we can use this as a starting point. So before each, we're gonna be visiting our page, right? So we're gonna say localhost 3000 login. So basically every time before any test runs, the Cypress is gonna visit the specific URL. And we're literally gonna see that in the browser in a second, but it's very handy because it not only does it allows you to, you know, visit something, you can actually test any websites that are already running. So you can run end-to-end tests on your staging environment that is deployed, which is extremely helpful, by the way. Okay, and then let's say should, so let's rename that to login, right? Should login with correct credentials. Okay, so so here's another cool thing about that. Once you start writing those tests, you will immediately notice how it's actually really hard to get the elements if you don't properly mark them up. So we need to give our inputs IDs, which is also beneficial. Like, basically it sort of pushes you towards doing the accessibility right, because it's just easier to navigate the elements when they are accessible. In this case, we're just gonna give them an IDs, which is gonna be login and pass. This is not really, accessible, but anyway, it's gonna make our life easier. So we're gonna get login. We're gonna type YAMLite, and then we're gonna do the same. So type login. Then we're gonna do the same for the password. Type pass. In this case, we could kill the password later on from the inputs. It's just convenient to test it this way. And then we're basically gonna get, so again, we have the button, but we don't have ID for it. Let's call it do login, because why not? So we're gonna get do login, and then we're just gonna invoke click on it, right? So this is gonna trigger the login, and then we need to test that we actually so I guess we can just do h1, what was it, shoot f text, and then we say hello YAMLite, right? So basically this is our test. If I kill all of the rest things, this is as easy as it gets. It's like, I don't think I've ever written easier end-to-end tests than in Cypress. So now we should have this login spec here, and if I click it and allow this, as you can see here, it will start the full-on, whoops, no, that's dock it to the left. There we go. So this is the full-on Chrome browser, right? And I can actually zoom it, and as you can see here, Chrome says Chrome is being controlled by automated software. And there is our login. And there is something wrong here. I'm not sure what. Oh, right. It actually failed. And it actually still printed the login message. Interesting. Wait a second. So what did I screw up? Okay. And why is that the case? So 401. All right, because the fetch does not handle 401 as an error. I keep forgetting that thing. God damn it. Right. So to the fetch error JSON. So we need to handle this status code, which is annoying. Wait a second, there was a new, I remember seeing the small request package that was like a very nice fetch wrapper. Wait a second. So there's the got.js, which is pretty big. Fetch wrapper. JS fetch wrapper, and there was fetch client, I guess. Let's go to Google, because I definitely remember Kai. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. I guess I'm just going to install that. Yes, kill that, npm install Kai. And we're just going to use that because it is easier rather than, doing everything myself, basically. So it's just this one annoying bit about fetch that, even though you don't really need, come on, are you kidding me? Right, because I'm not importing Kai. There we go, import Kai from Kai. As one of those fetch things when you have to basically handle all the wrong postcodes yourself, which makes it extremely annoying. Okay, I think we can just do that, right? So we can just be like login passwords, and then we can just do JSON, and that should produce the error correctly, actually. npm run dev. So I think this time around it should throw the error correctly on the wrong code. What are you talking about? npm is already run. Oh, I forgot to stop it. Right, there we go. Oh, I killed the Cypress. God damn it. That was the wrong window. Oh no. All right, let's just make sure that it actually works. Unexpected token exports. Wait a second, is that just the node.js thing? No, import Kai from Kai, yeah, so this should be simple. Modern browsers and Deno, okay, so that should work. What is wrong? Unexpected token exports. Is it trying to use the ES6 version? Yeah, okay, so there's the KUMD. Let's do that. Is there a... Okay, yeah, that should fix it, right? I think that should fix the error. There we go. Okay, and if I do this, we should now get the error. There we go. Cool. Okay, so now it works as we expected to. Let's restart npm run test local. Restart the Cypress. Hopefully it won't take as long as the on initial run, because it does some caching and other things, which is handy. So start the browser. Let me just dock it to the right side. Okay, and now we can actually see this happening, and there is an error, because as you can see here, the cool thing is that you can actually navigate each of the snapshots as they happen. So it does the DOM snapshots during each state. You can actually just go there and see, okay, so what is wrong? So, okay, so you type, right? And in this case, I forgot to clean the input, because we already have the pre-filled values there. So we obviously have two ways of doing that. Either kill the pre-filled values, which I think is what I'm going to do here. Or you could clear the input, obviously, if that's what you want to. But in our case, that's fine. So we're going to clear that. So I'm going to refresh. And now it says unauthorized. Why are you unauthorized? Wait a second. What? What now? I'm sorry, what? Another cool thing about Cypress, since it basically controls Chrome, you can go to the DevTools, rerun the tests, and then see all the requests here and try to figure out what is going on. So it sends, where is my body? Because I probably used the Kai in a wrong way, right? So there is Kai. Okay, JSON. This is what I want to prepend it with. So in this case, I do right, JSON, and then we do, come on now. Right, there we go. Okay. So this should fix it. And if we go back to the Cypress and restart the test, there we go, it finally passes, right? Okay, so now it logs in. So let's add another one that tries to log in with, okay, we don't need that here. So click on login button and then make sure we get successful greeting message. Yep. And then we do the same with should not log in with wrong credentials. So let's do the same, but we say wrong pass, and then we basically should have a div with text. What was the text? I think it was like unauthorized or something, right? So it basically, if I remember this correctly, okay, yeah. So let's, you know what? Let's just copy this text and be like HTTP error unauthorized. I think this is what it should have. And text, okay, text was login HTTP. Wait, what? F text, but the text was, that is lies. I don't see all the text. Okay, we could do it differently. So we can basically say contains, so we can find any div that contains unauthorized, and then we should say should, and then we just say exists. There is, by the way, a very nice autocomplete by the typing, and it works. So we just written our first login tests that, you know, you can still traverse all of those snapshots and make sure they work. Again, you can do it on any website, not specifically just the one that you are building here. Let me add that. So, okay, first of all, I'm going to move the Cypress integration examples here. And then I'm going to add Cypress JSON. Whoops, no, that's too many G's. And add basic login test. E2E tests. Commit that. Functions as steps also work if you want to test private pages who require a login. So there's a relatives. So for these cases, there is, so the cool thing about them is they have amazing documentation. Like, this is possibly one of the best docs I've seen there. And one of the cool things they have is a collection of best practices. I don't remember where exactly was that. Wait a second. Best, am I blocking the search JavaScript again? Yes, I am. Okay, best practices. There you go. There's a collection of best practices that basically shows you how exactly you can simplify things and what is the best practice in selecting elements. Like, you know, using IDs as we did is actually not really that good, and it's better to do the text-based selection or specific data size selection attribute, right? And they have the same stuff with like, okay, so there's actually, they had the guide with regards to logging in, and the idea is that you can create your own Cypress directive. You can basically invoke on each, or like, you know, before every tests that requires authorization. So this is exactly what I did, by the way, and that worked perfectly fine. So I don't remember where I've seen it. Wait a second. So there was like a full-on section about that. Tutorial videos should log in. Plugins. There we go. I think it was it in the plugins? No, it wasn't in the plugins. But they definitely, I think it's either here on a GitHub. I definitely saw like a full-on example of how you do that, and I just used it in my code and it worked perfectly fine. So that is a thing. I mean, it's highly extensible. If we look at the plugins folder here, you can basically define your own Cypress plugins that you can use within your tests, and they work amazingly well. Like it's really easy to do. There's also like support commands that you can do if you want to, and a bunch of other things. Yeah, the fixtures, you can mock the servers in your request if you want to. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with fetch right now, so it's a bit annoying because they don't they don't catch the fetch request, so you cannot really do anything with them, only XHR. Hey Amina, welcome to the stream. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty awesome. So let's try another page. So we got the login. Let's do the home page, and let's do something complex. I'm saying complex, but I have no idea. Do you guys have any suggestions? What should we test? You can circumvent the fetch problem. Yes, obviously there are workarounds, and there's even a known one posted. I think there's an example from one of the Cypress developers, but you know, it's still annoying that you cannot just use the same tools that they provide for XHR to work on the fetch. I mean, they have it in the pipeline. It's going to come later on at some point, but it's just a mild annoyance at this point. Anyway, coming back to the testing, do you guys have any suggestions of what do you want to see tested? Like, what kind of UI do you want to test? I wonder. Let me think. Let's just have a look at BxJS.dev and see what kind of libraries we had in the past episodes. I guess they are the latest episodes. Test if image is loaded. Big image. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good question. It's a pretty good example, I guess. So we could do tabs. Yeah, let's do tabs and images. So see, Reach UI. I think Reach UI had tabs, right? So this is, oh, whoops, that is too many clicks. Where is my, there we go. Okay, create. Yes, you can also create unit tests with Cypress. I haven't used it this way. I'm mostly interested in end-to-end testing, but it is like all-in-one thing that you can basically use for anything. That is totally correct. Right, so we got Reach UI tabs. Let's just go ahead and use those and see what we can actually do with that. And then one of the tabs will have an image that will load whenever you basically, okay, let's stop that. npm install reach tabs. Let's say one of the tabs is going to have an image that will load when you open the tab, right? This is what I'm trying to say. Why is it so hard to talk today? Okay, so we got that. We got example. I'm just going to copy this whole thing here. And no, don't delete stuff before I actually paste things in. Thank you very much. Okay, that is too many returns. So it's going to be, let's just wrap it into div in case we want to add something else. Okay. So let's see, npm run dev, start the development. First, let's actually make sure it works without any testing. And clear that, make it a bit smaller. Fetch API is the workaround, doesn't leverage the server routes feature. Yeah, so this is the downside, is that you can't actually use their sort of unified API for mocking and testing, which is a bit annoying. Global CSS cannot be imported. Okay, so we need to import that in the app file. That is new. Okay, I guess Or maybe they, no, it is definitely new. So I guess, right, I guess we need the custom app file, but hell if I remember how to, oh, okay. So I can just import the CSS there. Interesting. There we go. So we got our tabs working, right? 1, 2, 3, and then we just can, let's take, wasted an hour today on that. Yes, that is exactly what happened to me 2 days ago. I was like, why can't I use like the wait for the fetch request that I'm doing to the server before checking that stuff happened? And then I started digging in tickets and was like, oh yeah, that doesn't work yet. It only works with XHR. I was like, god damn it, 2 hours of my time. Yeah, that was slightly annoying. Okay, React image, what do you call it? React image, not delayed. How do you call it? Not responsive. Man, I forgot the words. How do you call those images that lazy loading, right? Lazy loading is what I want to say. Okay, lazy load image components. Let's see, is that fine? So what does it do? Live demo. What are you do? Scroll down to see that. Okay, yeah, that seems fine, although that seems a bit overkill. We could do our own. I'm just wondering what would be the easiest way to do that. You guys have any suggestions for lazy loading image component or whatever? Something that will lazy load hey 200. Yeah, so this is lazy load is just like probably the what is it? What do you call it? The intersection observer wrapper, which you know is probably fine, but not what we want. Okay, you know what? Yeah, we could just do the image like, okay, let's do our own component, right? So I'm gonna create a components folder, components, and it's gonna be image.js, and we're gonna do it in a very stupid way. Let me just copy all of that. Although I really only need like one thing, but I tend to copy too much crap. Anyway, okay, so we got state. We're gonna say, okay, so there's our image, and we're gonna set image, and I'm basically just gonna fake lazy loading. Let's call it image. There we go. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just use effect. No, that is not where you should import that from. Come on now. Okay, so we're gonna use effect, and it's basically gonna just trigger once on rendering. That's all we want, and we're just gonna do set image to something, and then here we're just gonna say, okay, if there is image, we're gonna render image source image. Otherwise, we're gonna render an empty. Well, let's go with div. Why not? We don't actually need that. We can just do this, right? Okay, now we need to find a very, very big image. We can probably do unsplash it or something. Pick some photos. Yes, can I get like a really big one? Can I get even bigger one? Like okay, 20,000 is maybe overkill. Let's try 5,000. Is that possible? Can you return something? Yes, you can. Okay, cool. So, right, so there we go. There's our extremely large image, 5,000 pixels wide. I don't know why. Image, use ref, create document, create element image. I mean, that's also an option, but we're just going to do it in a stupider way. I just don't want to spend too much time on doing that. And then, okay. It's going to import our image component from components image. And on tab 3, we're gonna say, here's our image. So in theory, if I now go to our thing and say, okay, 1, 2, 3, and now we should start seeing an image. There we go. That thing is large as hell. Okay, you know what? Let's just add a bit of CSS, shall we? Okay, width 100%, height 100%. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, so we just add width and height to it, and that should be sufficient. Okay, width 100%, height 100%. Right, there we go. Okay, so we did that now. Right, okay, this works. It takes, even on my connection, quite a couple of seconds to load, so let's do some testing, I guess. Okay, tabs, I guess home spec, let's call it home spec.js, right? I'm gonna copy the login and just paste it here, and this is gonna be home. So we're gonna visit this one, and should switch tabs. So we're just basically gonna switch between two tabs first. I'm gonna kill the second thing. And can you simulate slow network using DevTools? I believe you can. Actually, that's a good question. I haven't tried that yet. But I mean, basically, you get all control over the browser, right? So you should be able to. Wait a second. That's a really good question. Cypress, DevTools, slow connection. I'm guessing you probably can. Cypress, DevTools, debugging. There we go. There's a debugging. Okay, okay, this is the debugger, as in the debugger. Can you network requests? Okay. Test strategies. Don't stop. Stopping, request fixing, waiting. Failure flake. See also. DevTools. Okay, so there is test runner, writing your first test, cookies, visit. That's a very good question. I don't see immediate answer here, but I'm guessing there's some way to do that. Simulate offline mode. There we go. There's a question that we want. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but close enough. Seems like it's still open, which probably means that no, it's not possible yet. It seems like there's some workarounds, so you can create a proxy that basically throttles everything, which, yeah, okay, so it's not yet possible. I know that, I mean, so basically it comes down to implementing the API to access the DevTools, right? There are two problems here. Number one is that this has to work in all browsers, right? And while Edge and Chrome is not that different, and Electron as well, since all of that is Chromium, Firefox might not work at all, right? So this is a question, can you deliver the consistent API that work across all the browsers in the same manner? I don't know if you can control the DevTools in Firefox using the APIs. Is that like even possible? But anyway, so this is not yet possible, but it's a really cool feature that will be very fun to see. We're going to see how that develops. It's a really cool suggestion, so I definitely would keep an eye on that because it sounds like it might be very helpful for some things. On the other hand, throttling requests in tests sounds like a recipe for the tests that take like 20 minutes to finish. So I'm not sure it's a really good idea. Anyway, let's do that. So, okay, so tabs. We got the tabs. Here's the question. You probably can give the tabs some sort of reach UI tabs. We did that, so you probably can give them. This should help. Cypress includes ability to control and stop the app clock via the cyclock and cytick. But that will only be timings, right? So this is like the performance essentially. This will not affect network requests as far as I understand. But it will affect the processing essentially. But I mean, I don't like, basically the ideal option would be to really control the DevTools, but it seems like it's not quite there. Anyhow, let's see. So what do we, how do we actually access them? Let's just inspect. Do we have any attributes on them? Okay, so we got area controls tab. Okay, yeah, there we go. We got tabs 20 panel 0. Can I give them some sort of okay, so first of all, we want to select tab list, right? Let's see. So here's our home spec, tab list. Was it this way? Yes, it was this way. Oh, actually is role tab list. So we select this. Then we want to find so we want to find the first tab, role tab, right? We get the first. We want to click it, and then we just basically want to say get. So what was there? There is tab panel. So what is this? There's probably some selector as well here. Role tab panel. So we want to say, okay, we want to get a tab panel. That should work, I think, right? Wait a second. This you're right. So is this is not like there's only one. No, it renders all of them, but one others are hidden essentially. So we want the one that is visible. Okay. Cypress gets visible. There is interacting with elements. Right click. Yes. Is there visibility? Wait. Visibility. Yeah, there we go. And visibility hidden. Come on. Where's the selector? Can you actually do that? I mean, this like probably if they align with the CSS, I think that should work, right? First shoots and then have text, and then we can just say that it should have text 1, right? I think that should work, but let's try it. Throw in it here. I'm guessing I probably screwed something up. Okay, why is taking so long? Hey, it actually worked. Okay, holy crap. Did it on the first try, man. Okay. Right, so let's try switching the tabs now. So make sure first tab is selected, just in case we change something. Check that we see first tab content. Okay, now let's switch to the second tab. Okay. Guess. So there's the first. I guess we could do that probably, right? It's gonna be 2, I think, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this should switch the tab to the second one. Why does it take so long to read property click of undefined? Okay, I guess this is not how you do that. So there is, wait a second, there is first selector. There should be second or something, right? So, or I guess get, no, get is gonna be like the selector alias. How do we get the second one? This is actually something I didn't need to do before that. And I have no idea how to do it. Anyone in the chat knows how to do that? Get cookies first. Firstly, yes. Is there like get nth or whatever equal? Oh, this is what we want, right? Yeah, there we go. So we got EQ. Okay. I mean, it makes sense that it's not an array, but you know, worth a try basically. Okay, there we go. It works. So we got that working. Okay, so now we need to test our image, right? Should load large image. Okay, so let's see. We go that. We go. We don't need. Basically, we'll load the third one right away. Should have text 3. And then we need to get image, and then we need to figure out how to wait for it. So this is something I haven't actually done before. So let's dive into the into this stuff. I wonder if you can do if it interrupts the request actually. Wait a second. So there's this server thing, and I know that it works for XHRs. XML. I wonder if it will intercept the image loading. Okay, wait a second. So if we do this server here, right? And then no, that's not what I want. I want to see this. They should have an example somewhere here. Yeah, there you go. There's sci routes. Wait a second. They had. It should be in examples. Stubbing spy network requests. There we go. And there is a way to basically watch the request and wait for. Oh, right. It wasn't awaiting. This is what I want. There we go. So sci wait input type wait. Yeah, there we go. So we could do that. And should be visible. Yeah, I mean, that's probably an assert we could use as well, right? Yeah, okay. So this is, I think this is a nicer way of doing that. Should be visible, although I think visible selector works equally okay. But that's a more explicit way of doing that. Okay, sci routes. So where is our image? I already forgot what we are requesting. Come on now. Okay, let me just fire up this. Where's our network and where is our image? So this is our image. Okay, so we need this and we need to basically say that this is what we're gonna get, right? Get image, and I wonder if that will actually work. I'm really curious. So waits. Okay, so we're gonna wait for that, right? Okay, I'm gonna comment this out for now. Wait, and yeah, I mean, with get image should just do be visible. Okay, and then we should wait for get image, right? I wonder if this will work. Like, I know, so this is the API that doesn't work for fetch requests, which is extremely disappointing, to be honest, because it's a very nice API. But okay, expected to be visible. Okay, that actually broke some tests for us. And this also broke some tests. What is wrong here? Let's see. What is going on? This is the should switch tabs, right? So we get the first one. This works fine. And we switch this one, and this one says the tab is not visible. Why is it not visible? Roll tab panel. Oh, because wait a second. Why is it first? That should not be first, right? Yeah. Okay. There we go. How did it pass before? Wait a second. Okay, that was a good idea to swap that because we just found a bug in our test that was somehow passing anyway. Interesting. Okay, so let's see. Does that actually load? Did it wait for the image to load? It seems like it actually does. Yep, it does wait. Cool. No, wait, it doesn't. Okay, so it actually waits. Right, so it seems like it doesn't. It only catches the XHR requests, which you can try import image as a React component and use it get inside. Yeah, I mean, you could. That sounds like, you know, doing it backwards. It's got to be a better way of Cypress wait for image to load. There's got to be a way to do that, right? It's such a common thing. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go Google again because it seems to give better results. Testing loading of the images in Cypress. Find image should be visible. I mean, that's an obvious thing, right? I wonder if it will actually load by default. So here's the question. Maybe we're overthinking it, and maybe we don't need this whole thing, and it will wait for the image to load anyway, because the Cypress seems actually to wait for the layout to finish before running any of those tests. Okay, wait for image to render. So the thing is that now that we are controlling this, we could actually slow. Okay, so what is right? So it fails now because the image is not loaded. So we do need something that is going to basically wait for the image to render. Now, let's try to find a solution. How to wait for page finish. Yeah, I mean, that's one option. 4S only. What do you mean 4S only? Wait for navigation. Site visits. I mean, yeah, the stupid way is to just wait for a few seconds, but that's like, I guess it works, but come on, there's gotta be a better way of doing that, right? Contains, should contain. Is there like a wait for function or something that they have? Wait a second. Wait, so there's a wait, and you can wait for selectors, I believe, right? Wait. I think they had that in the example we were looking at. So no, so there's just, so you cannot wait for selectors the same way you could in the, what do you call it, in Puppeteer, for example, right? So I guess the stupid way of doing it is just say, okay, hey, we're gonna give time to image to load, basically, right? And just wait for a second or so. And okay, so what? No, what? Wait a second. Oh, right. God damn it. I'm an idiot. So wait a second. Maybe it actually worked because I was just selecting the wrong thing. It should be EMG, not image. Okay, come on. Wait for the resource to load. Oh, interesting. What is that? Let me try to Google that. Let's see if that's something Wait for resource. So that is not a default function, which means it gotta be a plugin or something. Let me see. So wait for resource. Okay, so there is a mention of that on Git, at least on Google. But where is that? So that is all right. Wait for resource to load, and that is a custom command. Okay, so this is a custom command. Yep, I already found it. Thank you. So let's try this custom command, because why not? So we got commands, right? And I mean, we can just inline that to make it more readable, I guess. Okay, so we got promise. So what does it do? It does returns Cypress promise. Okay, so it has its own promises wrapper, I guess, for polyfilling the older versions or something. But that doesn't make any sense. That's Bluebird. Okay, interesting. Anyway, so it returns a promise that check if resource. So it sets a timeout, 40 milliseconds. Performance. Okay, so basically gets all the entries from the window state and then looks if they are actually finished. Right. Okay, so this is a very stupid way of doing it, but it actually seems, I mean, it seems more reliable than what we did. So let's try that. So we say wait for, no, wait, what was it? Wait for resource. And then we say, right, so here's the problem. The problem now is image. All right, we can use that, right? So we can just say that this is an image and the resource is 5000 G. Was it JPEG? The JPEG, or was it what? What? Wait, what? What is that? What happened to my? Wait a second. Formats. Save. A what? We found an error. Prepare. Did I do a typo here or something? Wait. Oh, yes. Okay, that's the typo. What is going on? Okay. I just open this and see the network requests. It actually, no, okay, so there's the loading of the image. And it seems like it's stuck. Okay, so let's see one more time. So there's 5000 and there's the 5000 JPEG. And type, is type JPEG? Is that what it wants? Okay, you know what? Let's just try to debug this a bit. And I am gonna do this console log for console log. Let's log this because I have no idea how this like resource state thing looks. I am kind of curious as to what we will see here. I assume we're gonna see it in DevTools, right? Yeah, reach tabs, styles not found, that's fine. There we go. Okay. Oh my god. Maybe that's not the best. Okay. Performance resource timing, initiator type link AMG. Okay, so it is also EMG, so kill that. No, please stop. That is that is too much. Okay, so it should be EMG. Right, so Carlos, seems like you already knew what to do here. And does it work? Should load image. There you go. Doesn't seem to be, so image seems to be loaded, right? But it doesn't seem to be finishing that. Initiator type and entry name includes. So here's the question. Does it actually? Let's do this console log sci blah blah blah. I'm just gonna do map entry name. You can actually see what kind of names we have there, because I imagine maybe the name is like the full URL or something, and I'm just passing the wrong thing in there. But we're gonna find out in a second. Okay, the fact that you can actually polyfill this essentially with a extension. Oh, okay, so it actually gives you the original URL. Okay, cool. Please stop. No, don't, no, stop. Just, there we go. And then this should be this, right? So if we have that, it should theoretically pass now. Come on. Hey, it works. There we go. It's actually waits for image, and we got the nice thing. Everything is working. What is my... Okay, I got some food delivery going on. But yeah, there we go. So image loading works. We did some custom functions here and there. But yeah, this is a lot easier than I expected, to be honest. And this is once again proves how damn awesome this thing is. Okay, I guess that's basically all I wanted to do for today. It will be a nice spot to wrap this up. So if you guys have any more questions or suggestions, feel free to throw them into the chat right now. And if not, then yeah, we can just wrap it up here. So what do I need to do? I need to remove examples because we don't need them. I am at a page with tabs and large image and E2E tests for it. There you go. All right, I need to add the README as well, right? This is something that I completely forgot. As usual, that's README MD, right. Let me go ahead and add the README. Meanwhile, feel free to throw in anything you want to talk about in the chat and ask your questions. You can alias XHR. Yeah, but that only works for XHR. That's what I was talking about. So yes, you can do that, but if you use fetch, this thing will not work, which is annoying because I mostly use fetch. Anyway, let me just go into the GitHub and please try to import React component and use them instead ID. Does it work? I'm not sure I understand what do you mean. Like, I've used third-party components and it works perfectly fine so long as you give them the correct class names or IDs or data attributes and they support like accessibility, then you can easily select them. So like I used reach components, I used React reselect, I used, what was it? There was the React JSON tree view render, whatever thing. It works perfectly fine. Okay, anyway, let me just create a repo. If I misunderstood, do feel free to elaborate on a question. I will answer that without problems. Example on how to use Cypress IO for E2E testing with Next.js. There we go. That's good enough. And I just want to steal the README from here. Could not resolve the VSL problem as well. Yeah, so like I don't know. I've seen people using it, like literally on YouTube. There are people who are like, yeah, you know, this is how you set it up, this is how it works. I have VS Code that I could run from VSL via X11 and it works perfectly fine. And then I try to run this thing and it just like crashes with GPU warnings, like GPU errors or something, could not start GPU or whatever. I don't remember, which is annoying a bit. VSL is Windows subsystem for Linux. It's essentially like a tiny Linux running within your Windows, which allows you to run stuff on the Linux side, like Linux binaries inside of Windows, which is very handy. But if you try to run it Cypress within the VSL, then it's not gonna work, at least for me. Okay, let me just finish this repo creation. So example of using Cypress IO with Next.js for E2E testing with Next.js. Here's our tutorial on creating a simple E2E tests for Next.js app with Cypress IO. There we go. Or Cypress IO with Next.js video. I will have to paste the video later as usual. Install Linux. I mean, Linux is nice, but I want to play my video games. You cannot play video games on Linux, you know. I would very happily switch to Linux if it supported my gaming library, but it doesn't. And honestly, with VSL 2, I'm not sure I will. There's another issue with Linux. I used to use Linux quite heavily when I was in university. And I don't know how it is right now, but I always remember that every freaking major update of Ubuntu was always coming along with billions of bugs that you had to basically fix if you use anything that is not very popular, basically. So any non-popular software would always crash and burn with any Ubuntu update. From what I understand, it's still more or less the same unless you use LTS, which is like, you know, Looking at the issues, they say install Xming. Okay, I mean, I'm using the X4010, which is this paid server, which I found to work the best. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. I'll just wait for VSL2 because hey, it's basically around the corner. Anyway, okay, so I linked the Cypress small demo showing how to use Cypress IO for E2E testing. A simple Next.js app. There we go. They still do well. Yeah, I don't have time to fix Linux stuff. You know, like it's like I just want to do my work. I want to end it. I want to play some video games, and then I want to think about fixing my system. It was one of the reasons why I switched to macOS, and now that VSL actually does a decent job, I'm seriously thinking about buying a Surface laptop because it's just it looks a lot more attractive than Macs because it doesn't cost like an airplane basically. Let me have a look at this thing. So they still this one Stack Overflow com/a. What is that? Yeah, I mean, I tried googling like and looking for the stuff. React Cypress plugin for that. So what are we? How to access React components local state? Why would you want to access local state? Like, why do you need that? Like, it's supposed to be end-to-end testing, right? You're supposed to test the way that your the way that your app behaves when user clicks on it, right? You don't want local testing. You want to actually see what's on the screen. This is kind of the whole point of it. But I can find it to debug. I mean, debugging, but for debugging, you can just use the React DevTools, right? I saw the articles that basically outline how you can enable the DevTools inside of Cypress. You can just open the DevTools and just have a look what's going on. So I don't know. I'm not convinced that this is this basically is required. Plus, I don't know if that will work with hooks actually. So I'm guessing it's probably not going to work with hooks. Or maybe it will. I don't know. What is this? Some dumb mock can't mock sexy. Hello states. Okay. I still don't see like why would you want to use that, but hey, maybe you do. It's nice to have a plugin like this, but I honestly don't know why. Yeah, okay, so you can, oh, interesting, huh? Yeah, okay, so you can do the unit testing like this. But again, you know, if you want unit testing, there are better tools for that. Like Cypress is nice and everything, don't get me wrong, but React testing library is like 10 times more convenient than this and faster because you don't have to spin up the whole damn browser to do that. At least that's, you know, that's my perspective on it. Okay, let me think. Get the readme, get status, get add readme, get commit, add readme. There we go. And now just push that. And unless you guys have any more questions or suggestions, we can basically wrap this up here. That was a nice 1 hour stream, I think, more or less. And yeah, I think it was quite productive. As usual, you can find all the links on GitHub. You can also join our Discord chat if you want to talk about any of that. Yeah, I think that's basically it for today. Okay, I'll give you a couple more seconds to figure out if you have any questions. And if not, well, then let's just say that this is it, basically. Okay. Right, let me just add some topics here, I guess, while I'm at it. Cypress IO, Next.js, end-to-end tests, and that is it. When is the next stream? As usual, Saturday is going to be BxJS Weekly at 1 p.m. I think, right? I'm going to create the YouTube pre-stream thingy, whatever it's called, in the next couple of days. But basically, I'm trying to get back into the schedule of one stream on Wednesday, one stream on Saturday. So this is how it's going to be. Okay. Right, doesn't seem like there's any more questions or suggestions, so thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Seems like the quality was quite fine, so I'm going to stick to this setup. This unified chat is also quite convenient. I hope you found something useful and learned something nice. As usual, the whole code is on GitHub. If you have any questions, poke me on Twitter or Discord. We'll be more than happy to help. Thank you for watching. Try Cypress is pretty damn great. And yeah, I guess have an awesome rest of the week. And I see you on Saturday for BxJS Weekly. Bye.